Talks Retail Fast 5, brought to you in partnership with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Fireworks, SPS Commerce, and Sezzle.
All right, headline number 4. This one's fun too. JCPenny's has announced a $1 billion turnaround plan. According to Retail Dive, the department store will invest in digital capabilities, in-store upgrades, including tech and merchandising and supply chain improvements. And its plans also entail boosting the retailer's appeal through inclusive and affordable merchandising, customer service, and local community engagement. All the things you would expect to see in a $1 billion improvement plan. Well, mostly expect to see, I should say. And
yes,
this is a fun question. I actually like this question I came up with you for this. So I came up with for you for this. If you had $1 billion, would you invest it in JCPenney's?
That would not be my first personal investment. No.
Let's say you had $1 billion to throw around at many speculative investments. Would you invest?
I still would not do it.
You don't think this is a good investment then?
No, but JCPenney's
for the shareholders of JCPenney's.
JCPenney's putting up this money themselves, and I think it's a great idea. I mean, if you're going to invest in a turnaround, this is how you should do it. Macy's, listen up, pay attention. I'm still not sure that JCPenney's can make a comeback. I will caveat that. I agree with one of the commenters in the article who's like, there's still a relevancy problem for JCPenney. I agree with the next generation. Like, I think there's still more you have to do. But I think they are making the right investments in inventory accuracy, enhancing point of sale, associate tools, like improved mobile app experiences for your guests. Like, all of that are crucial pieces to a turnaround, developing the foundation so that when you do start to bring in relevant brands, you do start pushing new customers to your store, you are going to give them an experience at JCPenney that they have never had before. So I think that is really, really important. The second thing that I love about this, especially again, if you contrast this with what we're seeing Macy's do, I mean, Neil Saunders just put out some amazing photos of some tours to Macy's. And, you know, Macy's is going there. They just are dropping the market at Macy's to just call it, you know, the market, like, or on 34th, these brands, like a turnaround is not dependent on branding. It should not be a branding exercise. It has to be what JCPenney is doing here. And that's investing in the technology, the infrastructure that's really going to make your brand function from, you know, supply chain all the way down to, you know, the interactions with your customers. So I would not invest in them, Chris. I would not put up my own money, but I do think that this is really smart. But would you?
So let me ask you. So do you think let me ask you point blank. Do you think the shareholders are right to approve this plan then, or no? Would you not have approved this plan?
Yes.
You do. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That was what I was trying to get at. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I think you can turn around a brand through creative advertising. You know, DeWalt's the perfect case study for that. But I think the point that you're making is smart because like what you don't see in this announcement is all the whiz bang stuff, you know, which you called out Macy's, which Macy's is famous for that. Right.
Yeah.
And so I actually think from a shareholder perspective, this could have good returns. And I say that for 2 reasons. One, this company, believe it or not, still does over $7.5 billion a year. How many brands would like to have a relevancy problem with that type of volume?
Yeah,
that's right. Kind of insane when you think about it. And they still are profitable. They had net income of $220 million last year. So regardless of what we say, I still think it's a dying business. But there's still an audience for department stores. Like people are still shopping at them, which brings me to my second point. And it goes along with what you're saying too. I said on this podcast when he was hired that I loved the hire of Mark Rosen. I love that they made that hire because he's a longtime head of e-commerce at Levi's. He's a longtime retail guy. I co-presented with him at a Women's Wear Daily conference in New York. I think it was back in 2015. And the guy gets it. He gets omni-channel retailing, what it's about at its core. So if I'm going to bet on who's going to steal share in the department store space, Macy's, which is going off mall for some God unknown reason under Jeff Gannett and his whoever successor is going to be, which they've named, which I can't remember his name, or a refurbished JCP under Rosen, I'm going with the latter. 100% I'm going with the latter. I wouldn't even give it a second thought because the guy gets omni-channel retailing to a degree. We've seen Jeff Gannett talk on stage. The guy doesn't get it. So there's share to be had across what it is essentially. I mean, who else is out there? Macy's and JCPenney's now at this point, right?
Yeah, but in most malls for sure. I mean, you have Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's and some
I
of
mean, you
the
got
A
Yonkers
malls,
hanging out
but
there, some regional, department stores, but like,
yeah.
And he's going to do smart upgrades too, because he understands what's required to succeed in the omnichannel environment. At least that's my opinion.